Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Bunny or GunBunny, and here we talk really fast because I can't talk. If you want it to be slower, slow down your fucking speed on the video. Sorry. This is my journey through guns and cosplay. Why combine the two? Because I can. Sometimes I talk about other things, like, for example, Uncrustables. Yeah, if you don't know, I have a few videos on here where I just straight up talk about Uncrustables. It's great. I love Uncrustables. They're my safe food. I'm autistic. It's lovely. And so the concept for this video, if you didn't know, you can go watch part 1, is Uncrustable if it was a magical girl. And now today we are working on the bodice. It is very fitted. It is structured. It's beautiful. I made, ridiculous choices for this. I probably made it take way longer than I wanted it to, but again, I like to improve my sewing skills, try new things. I do a lot of cosplays. I also do I plan to do a lot of historical recreation stuff. Maybe I'll do a video talking about my project plan for that. Let me know in the comments below. I am trying to split up this project over a course of more videos. So if you're wondering, like, why is it, a bunch of more short videos instead of one big long one? Because I put a lot of work into these, and, I want to show that. And I also just want to kind of give you better videos and more in-depth things and kind of, share that. And I think it's important. And also because this is a really fucking complicated cosplay, I'm making the entire thing from scratch, including the pattern, because I've lost my mind. Anyway, if you want to see part 1, go check it out. Uncrustable, where I kind of cut and baste everything together for the bodice. This 2, where we're assembling it all. And then next, we will move on to the skirts, the overskirt, the sleeves. And then last but not least, the accessories and the reveal. Please follow along for my ridiculousness, and maybe if I make an Uncrustable themed gun somehow to go with this. Yeah. Welcome to my ridiculous channel, where I make ridiculous costumes and shoot ridiculous things and do whatever the hell I want because it's my channel. All right, let's get back to the video.
Hi, did you know that I could fit in this space underneath my sink? Neither did I until now. Something else I bet you also didn't know is that I have Patreon. Even though I am at the point where I can monetize through YouTube and people are emailing me about sponsorships, I've always said I will never do sponsorships or monetize through YouTube on this channel. So therefore, the only way I'm supported is for my Patreon. And all these lovely people get extra benefits, and behind-the-scenes footage, as well as exclusive content, updates, and more. If you want to support my channel, there are multiple levels starting at just $5 US, which you can check out either on the link on screen or in the description down below. If you don't want to support me through Patreon, you can also support me on my other social medias. I'm mostly active on Instagram, so if you want more Bunny, go check out my Instagram, but I have other social medias, and you can get more Bunny goofiness like this, like of me trying to sit under the sink, and the bloopers from this video, because there's a lot. This took me a while to figure out. Yeah. Other ways you can support me is through my Amazon wish list, or by sending me stuff to my business address, which will also be on screen or in the description below. I can talk. I need to get out of here. My neck hurts. Now back to the video.
Oh, no, let's not get back to it. Let's get to the video. Also, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If I didn't already say that, my Patreon's in the link below. That's the only way I'm making money right now because this is my job. I will have some announcements about that coming up soon, or if I've already made the announcement, then you know already. I don't know when this is going up and when I'm making the announcement because I have not filmed that. All right. Now, enjoy. Insert dramatic music here. The Uncrustable cosplay.
I've hand basted all of the bodice pieces together. Again, I really don't know how necessary this was, but it makes me feel better. Again, like, it's just a lot of pieces, and I just want to make sure that they're like really well lined up, and because I want this project to work out really well. So next, I am gonna go and sew down all of these lines. Yay! I've also hand basted the cups together. And this is what they look like. I'm going to attach the cups later. And then after I have done all of these seams, basically I'm just going to sew down a line, everything I basted. And then I'm going to press and like French seam them. So I'm basically going to go like this, fold it in. Here, let's trim it, and then fold it, and then like sew across this. I'm going to figure out the cups and then the sleeves. And then maybe the skirt sometime soon, hopefully. Now, sewing it together, like basting the pieces together and then basting all of the long seams together, may seem like a lot of extra effort. But when a structural dress like this, it really stops any human error when it comes to pinning and making the fitting easier. But the biggest thing that really helps is I don't have to deal with pins when I'm moving it, which makes the sewing much faster. And I'm not trying to hold together 4 pieces of fabric. It's all just kind of already like very loosely sewn together, so it's really nice. And which means I am saving a lot of time futzing with pins, and also it's just gonna come out neater, and I'm saving potential time taking out stitches and restitching something. So I find that extremely nice. Yeah, so going through and going over all of the yellow stitching I did. So basically I did black stitching to hold the lining and then the fabric, the front fabric together. And then I did yellow stitching, as you can see, to hold the actual structural, sorry, my eyelash is fucked up, the actual structural pieces together. So I know which ones, if I needed to remove one, I knew which one was which. Yeah, and so I'm just sewing all the bodice together like that. I'm about halfway through, and then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna iron all my seams. But it makes a huge racket. All right, I got most of this done, but I'm gonna show you how I did one of them. And then I also am adding like these little ruffles with this, like, you know, vinyl plastic, like the really thin vinyl sewable plastic that I used. I'm gonna show you how I did this one and how I'm gonna do it on the breast cups as well. So first, I ironed the shit out of shit. But basically this is what I did for all of the other like seams in this, and then this one. Just like a million times over. And then it's gonna roll over to this side, so I'm gonna trim this side. You don't have to, but this fabric is finicky enough to fold and roll that I'm going to. I say you don't have to as if it's like a tutorial and not just a documentation of what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna trim this edge just so it's a little bit more even and less fraying. And then now, I'm just gonna fold this in half and iron it again. And then if I was doing the other ones, I basically just like pulled it again over this leftover edge and then top stitched it. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit shorter though. But because I'm adding the ruffles in, the next step is I have a long strip. A long strip, which is about twice the length that I need the ruffle to be. And I'm just gonna hand gather it because this fabric is, it's not even fabric, the plastic is a pain in the ass to use the machine on. So I'm just starting and I'm just doing a running stitch pretty small. And then you see, when I pull it tight, it'll ruffle, like that. Okay, now that I have threaded the entire thing, I'm gonna very gently, especially because this is like kind of delicate plastic, ruffle until it's about the length of this. And then I just gotta even it out a little bit because there's bits that this one's proving a little bit more difficult than the last one. Okay. And then voila, and then I'm gonna pin and sew it in. So first I just kind of like pin it down. To the fabric. And then I am going to use this folded over hem like that. I'm gonna tuck it all in. And if I was being really smart, I would baste it in, but I have other projects I also want to work on, so. And I'm making sure to cover that, like, you know, gathering that I did. And then I'm going to sew along this line just like I did with this. And that, for like little ruffles, are for like, you know, to imitate kind of like the plastic edging on an Uncrustable container. And then next, what I'm gonna do, I cannot be fussed. Like, what the hell? Seriously, I can't believe I did that. That's so silly. Oh God, okay. You know, cute little ruffles. And the next one I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do the same along the tops of the cups for my boobs. And then I'm gonna sew these in. And then I'm gonna figure out the sleeves of the hem. And then the bodice is almost done, besides like decoration and stuff. I mean, part of these are decoration as well, but still. I like playing with the noise. Yeah, so like, this is the top, right? So this goes here, and then this will go here. You can kind of see how it's kind of coming together. And then I'll have more ruffles along the top here and here. And then I have to figure out the sleeves, because this pattern was not designed with sleeves, and I'm not the best at sleeves, but we'll figure it out. All right, I'm doing the hard part of putting in the cups now. I'm basting them into place. Now they're really annoying shape, and so is the fabric, so it's gonna be like a bit difficult. And then once I sew these in, I can start to draft, or I guess figure out what I want to do for the sleeves. I think I'm gonna freehand them because I've lost my mind. And then I got to be done with the bodice, except for the fastening in the back and finishing all the edges and a little overskirt, but never mind. There's a lot more to do. But so I'm just basically basting in where I want the cups to be. Okay, so I have machined both of the breast cups on. Now, before I add the sleeves, the next step is to do the back, and I also need to figure out how short I want this to be. So, because I don't have a mannequin that's actually my size, if the back is going to be slightly annoying. But I'm basically just holding it in place, and I'm marking it.
Okay, now I have my drawing here. So I can know where I want the waistline to be. Also, so I think I want it to kind of be around here where I'm wearing my skirt now, but I want it to point down. So putting it back on. I find my waist here, like this, there. Now, I have that marked, so I'm just gonna mark out and cut off all the excess. I'm kind of coming up with this pattern as I go. That's why I'm doing this after I sewed it all together, which is a little bit silly, but you know, I'm silly. Okay, so it was a bit complicated. I had to take off my shirt, which is why I didn't film it, but I have put it pinned. It's a bit like crossways, so I'm just gonna have to fix that. And I'm just gonna add the stuff. I'm not gonna film it for time, but then you'll see me again when we work on the sleeves. I got the back all sorted out, so see I have this side finished with the hooks sewn in, and then this side finished with the hooks sewn in, and so that they're all gonna be a little hidden, and so it hooks like that. And without the sleeves, this is what it looks like on. Yay, it was so complicated doing all of this. I'm glad it worked though. I still have to take out all of the basting seams, all of the black, but this is the bodice done. Hooray! Now it's time for sleeves. I probably would have been able to save extra time on materials if I had thought this through earlier, but now that I've trimmed the excess, I left a good amount of seam allowance. I basically cut one side and then folded it and cut the other. This is how it looks. And now I can add the fastenings and the sleeves. So the fastening, I don't want each individually sew on each hook and eye, so I got this. Which will save me a shit ton of time. So basically what I'm gonna do is mark where I want the hooks, and then mark where I want the eyes, and then pin them in place and make sure that they fit, and then I'm gonna sew it down, and then like basically just fold it in the fabric.